Yo, welcome to Bite the Bullet. I am D Factor. And you understand and you see that I am holding the chair tonight because Jay, am I pointing the right way? Jay needed a break. So here we go.
I needed a break. Dang.
My peoples, Mr. Positive, finding Jay Reese himself, the legacy. Welcome to the show, my brother.
What is up, my peoples?
Your
what is
show,
up?
my brother.
It's our show. It's our show. At this point, it is our show.
Exactly. And hailing from the north, the Canada, the free healthcare. You know what I'm saying? Trish, strong talk. What's up, sis?
What's up? What's up?
Our YouTube guru over there. I mean, she corrects us every day. Hey, YouTube.
Right.
Do this. Right. She gets it done. So tonight, we were going to get into co-parenting. As you can see, our 4 squares are now 3. One of the members had a little emergency, and our hearts are with her tonight. Yeah. So we were going to get into co-parenting, but as the week goes by, we brainstorm, and every day some news comes out, and we feel like Bite the Bullet has to jump on this subject. I'm gonna just start it off like this: another shooting, another black man, another shooting, another black man. Like, are we still gonna act like it's training? Are we still going to act like they're not scared of us instantly as soon as they pull us over? Jay, what's up, man?
It was a mistake.
It was a mistake.
It was a mistake.
Oh, that makes me mad to my core every time I hear that.
27 years on the force, I believe, right? Fact check me.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah. Oh, she definitely had 20. She definitely had 20 plus. I'm not sure if it was 26, 25, 27, but definitely 20 plus years. And she mistakenly grabbed her her gun instead of her taser.
Yeah, she thought it was a taser, and
Yeah. But that's
to tell
not
you
even
the truth, man.
Yeah.
To get to your taser, you gotta go across your body. Because I used to be strapped up. While I'm in the military, you got stuff all over the place. Your taser ain't next to your gun. Trust me, it's not. It's somewhere else. When you got to go for your less lethal weapon, you normally got to think about it and reach for it, because your deadly weapon is the one that's right by your hand. So
is the taser and the gun, are they both like, wouldn't you be able to tell the difference in weight and size, or are they both like the same? I don't know. You guys would know.
A taser is about 0.4 ounces. A gun is usually right around the 2.3 or 2.6, something like that. But you can tell the difference.
Put me on the spot. I don't know.
Okay. But you can definitely tell the difference. And the thing about
I just know they're in different places.
Yeah, no, we know that. We know that.
To Dee's point, even if they did weigh the same, a taser is usually on someone's non-dominant hand, and the gun is usually on the dominant hand.
Exactly.
So
that is not even a like, that's such a dumbass question for me anyways, because you know what, as the cop, even as me as a mother, if I wanted to pick up a pot spoon or a pot to hit my kid, I know where each one is, right? I don't.
On the next episode, how did you guys feel about Trish reaching for a pot or a hot spoon?
I know, right?
No, but okay.
On
a serious note, it's just like I can't even be on this is just like, when I saw this, I don't watch the news. A lot of my friends and family know that, but
same.
I saw it on my feed, and I was like, what do you mean another shooting? And I went on to the news, and of course Fox popped up first, and they were just talking about how much this kid was a criminal and how, and I'm like, okay, so how does that justify it?
It doesn't. It really doesn't. And I'm so tired of having this kind of conversation, because here's the thing about media. They try to smear any person of color when it comes to situations like this. And it infuriates me so much, because I read that this woman tried to go on administrative leave, and she tried to put in her resignation so that way she could still keep her pension and all that stuff. But if my understanding is correctly, the mayor is supposed to be actually firing her so that way she can't get anything, and she's supposed to be coming up on charges. I think it's manslaughter. But my point is that, like, even if she goes through the process, even if she actually gets jail time, all that lovely stuff, that's great. That's awesome. That is putting a Band-Aid on the problem. He's still dead. People still dying. People are still being treated mispurely. What are we going to do about it?
I mean, it's been what, almost a year since George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. Really and truly, what's happened?
It's only been about 400 years since they've been killing us.
Okay,
It's only been 400 years. Yeah. So
yeah.
What's crazy is this kid gets killed in the same state as the George Floyd.
Yeah.
Oh no, I even found out today. George Floyd's. Oh my God, I'm not gonna have my facts right.
Something, and the kids' teacher, they know each other somehow. I saw it on.
Right.
What?
Yeah, there was. Right. They crossed paths somehow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say to another black person, hey man, somebody else got killed, man, another policeman, they don't never ask, but what did he do? They just be like, God damn it, man, another one.
Because we know it don't matter.
You tell somebody else, well, what did he do? I mean, did he? Oh, so now if you don't answer a question, it's peppers. Oh no, let's not bring up the pepper spray incident.
So here's what I'm finding out, dude. Here's what I'm finding out, that when you put on the uniform, right, the blue uniform, the policeman's uniform, you're perfect. You can't make mistakes. So whatever you do is because of somebody else's action. So so it's like, how can that possibly be? In almost every other job, career, you get held accountable, except if you're somehow in law enforcement.
Right.
And that's the part that really pisses me off royally.
Well, if you're in law enforcement and white.
Oh, I know. Ooh. Definitely, right? But I think it's different though, because like I've talking to like people of color that actually work in uniform, and they tell me things behind closed doors about like how it's unfair, their treatment. But you have the blue line that no one can cross. You got to back the blue, because you can't advance, you can't rank up, you can't do anything if you try to go against the grain, and they make it miserable for you. So
because they have a code, right? They have a brother code, so you can't really.
The brotherhood is strong,
and I get that, but it's time. There should be more people outraged against the bad cops than there are with people afraid at this point. Right. There really should be, and I just don't understand.
So this kid gets shot because he's running back to the vehicle, which I think, oh my God, he's scared. You either fight or flee.
Yeah. Did you know he was on the phone with his mom?
He was on the phone with his mom.
Did you know that he was on the phone with his mom when he got pulled over?
Oh, I didn't.
No,
I didn't know that.
So I saw an interview with her. He called her when he was being pulled over because I guess I don't know if the car was in her name, but he was asking her about the insurance. So she said to him, when they come up to the car, give them the phone so she will explain or talk to them about the insurance. And she said, so I guess there was some scuffle, and the phone hung up, and she kept trying to call back. And then the girl who was there called her and said that he was shot. So she was actually on the phone when he got. Could you imagine that? Like,
oh no, not at all, not at all.
So she was.
I'm freaking out once he's pulled over.
Yeah.
Once I'm on the phone and he's pulled over, I'm freaking out.
And I think people who are not people of color don't understand that I'm not gonna say all, but most people of color have some type of traumatic stress when they see those blue lights, or even when they see an officer walking up or walking past. It is the craziest thing. You know what I mean?
The lights don't even have to be on. They could just put up next to you on the light, and you just like
10 and 2.
I got pulled over last year with my 3 kids in the car, my 2 sons in the back. And as soon as I got pulled over, because my car is tinted, I put their glass down and I said, keep your hands on your lap. Like, I was so scared because where I was, it was in a predominantly white neighborhood, and it was in a back street too, right? And I'm like, guys, we just need to keep calm. And I was shitting bricks. Like, I was scared because my 2 sons are in the back there.
But Trish, like, I love what you. I don't love what you said, because it saddens me every time I have to hear this. But what you just said right now, you had to keep telling yourself, and you had to tell your kids to keep calm. Why is it that civilians who don't get training has to know to keep calm in the event that there's a gun, stressful situation in front of them by someone who is trained to be calm, but yet they can say, I feared for my life?
Why is
I
it
didn't know it was going. It's an accident.
My
Like, that is mind-boggling.
My 17-year-old son doesn't have a driver's license, and that's my biggest fear. And because his dad, we were going to talk about co-parenting. His dad is like, oh, he's a young boy, he needs to get his license. But let me tell you something. I did not take him to get his learners at 16 because of all this crap that's been happening. I'm scared. I know that's unfair to him. And you know, he needs to live his life and stuff. But do you know that once that license gets placed in his hands and he is out there driving, I'm not going to be able to sleep.
So I'm curious. Let me ask, because I'm in the same situation. My daughter is about to turn 16. So right now she's studying the manual because me and my wife, we've had the talk with the kids and they kind of know, but you just never know. So I'm curious. Have you all had the talk? And I'm sure you guys know what I mean.
Oh, most definitely.
Which one, sex or the driving?
I'm talking about the driving and possibly being stopped by an officer. Yeah. Because it's funny to me, because like my kids are biracial, right? So when they go over to white friends' houses or people who aren't black, it's a whole nother world, and they'll come back and tell me all these crazy stories. Like, oh, like what they didn't have to talk. They don't. And I'm like, because they don't know. They don't have a clue. They get that privilege of not knowing. They don't get to see behind the veil because it's not their experience.
Right.
So Jay, let me ask you something. You're in a biracial relationship.
That's correct.
So do you feel okay? You've been with your wife though for a really long time.
Yes, correct.
How is that with all these things going on? Does she understand it, or do you?
When my wife and I first got together, she wasn't as knowledgeable. So things would make me mad and she wouldn't understand. She was like, oh, well, it's an incident. Like it just happened once. Oh, just let it go. Right. And then me and her had a real long heart-to-heart, hard conversation about how I felt, how I was raised, and a lot of the facts that they tend to leave out of history, the Tuskegee experiments, Jim Crow laws, redlining, like all this stuff that you don't really get to, you might hear about it, but you don't really get to.
Don't know it. You hear it, but you don't know it. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And we actually had these conversations, and my wife, like, God bless her, like she's I'm not sure how to exactly say, because she's sympathetic. She don't understand, but she feels for me because she loves me, and she has such a heart that she feels for everybody else. So it's like she wants to be a part of dismantling a system that is oppressing people. Right. If that's the best way I could put it, I think
that is a good way to put it. Man, I love all the allies and things like that, but like at the end of the day, the system is strong as hell when it comes to just not caring about the minorities.
Well, allies are tricky because
allies have always been there. They've been marching with us since Martin Luther King. Exactly. They've been helping us through slavery. They've always been there. But that system is strong, man.
Here's my thing. Like, I listen all the time to Malcolm X and Martin Luther King speeches and a whole bunch of other people's. Every black person's speech that I can get, I try my best to listen to and to remember. And I am a firm believer that we should not take any crap. We should be able to stand up and give our points and give our opinion. But I also think that it has to be done in unity. We need allies. We need people supporting us and helping us, because we can't do it by ourselves. We really can't. The system has to change that way. And the thing about it though, like if you're an ally, great. I love it. But don't let it be just because you shared a hashtag. Don't let it be because you just reposted something. No, that's not an ally. That's you sharing things because you feel bad. I'm not trying to take away your empathy, but you have to understand, if you truly want to help people of color and you want to change the system, start volunteering in these places that are making change. Reach out to people that can tell you stories about the history of what really happened. Because when I was overseas, I got to spend time with a lot of Germans, and I got to find out that they don't shy away from their past. They all learned all the things, the atrocities that they had to do. And these are some of the nicest, coolest, chillest people nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Because they learned, they took inside and they're like, you know what? We did that. They took ownership. And that's the problem with America nowadays. In my opinion, I feel like I am in an abusive relationship with America every single day.
Oh, big time. Stockholm syndrome.
Exactly.
Stockholm syndrome.
Exactly.
I was talking to my brother earlier, man, and we want to fix the system. We love our allies, and we know we need them in order to push this agenda forward. Yeah. But he said the only way, man, we can get out of this is to leave.
And I thought about that. You know how many times I've thought about like packing my family up and trying to go somewhere? But the problem is like, where can you go? Racism and this treatment is everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Everywhere. Like,
I mean, I heard there's parts of Africa that are really cool and really chill now, and I've thought about going there, but
like Liberia. Liberia is where all the ex-slaves went.
Oh,
when they freed the slaves, they all formed Liberia.
We talked about this last week. We talked about fairness.
Yeah.
Okay. And right.
And it don't exist. Right.
Anywhere you go, there's going to be there's going to be some sort of struggle. There's going to be unfair. Yeah. As we said, there's only fair in your house. So I just think that wherever you go, there's going to be that.
Well, see that
it ain't just fair in your house.
I can deal with that. Yo, like, honestly,
Jay, it ain't just fair in your house. Shit,
I know, right?
Fight for rights in your house.
I know, right? Oh man, but like I understand, like fair things aren't fair. I get that, and I can deal with that. The thing that I can't deal with is people treating me differently for something that I can't help. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not that I would ever want to change, because I love being black. No. But for people hating on me just because of the way God made me, get out of here, man. You crazy.
I think we have a long way to go with this. And it's like, I don't have any. So this is the thing with me. I'm just so tired of talking about it. I'm tired of talking about it and talking about it. And that's all I feel like that gets done. Okay, let's protest. Let's talk about it. Let's protest and let's talk about it. And then
let's get our allies together. Yeah.
What the? So I want to cuss now. Should I use the word that Jay used on his interview? No.
Everybody listening and watching are like, wait, what did Jay say on the interview?
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
But
check it out, man. This kid getting killed isn't the only thing that happened crazy this week or this month.
Oh,
you had the officer, the lieutenant, getting pepper sprayed just for asking, why did you pull me? Hands out the window, sir. I'm afraid. Why did you pull me over?
Oh, they sprayed him, right?
So let me tell some truth. So growing up in South Carolina, like that's where I had my adolescent years. Like I had to drive, and I had some instances with the cops that we can probably tell later or something like that. But when all these videos started surfacing because of social media and the internet, I believed, but at the same time, I was like, oh, well, there is some kind of legway. Like, he didn't really comply or he had that concealed. So I gave benefit of the doubt. I did. I can't even lie.
Right. I got
the thing about it, though, is that I started seeing videos surface of white people doing almost exactly the same thing and living to tell about it, or they would do something that's even like, what's the video of the white guy who chased the officer in a parking lot?
With the knife,
jumped into the police car. He jumped in the police and then did donut. I'm like, are you serious right now? That car would have been full of holes if that was a black person.
You would have had a rocket launcher at him. Okay.
Right?
What's crazy is we have the prime example of what would happen, and it was the riot at the Capitol. The riot of the Capitol is the definition of privilege.
Can you imagine if that was a Black Lives Matter protest going in there? They would have called in the planes and they would have bombed their ass.
Great. There would be no more there would be no more Capitol. It'll be gone for real.
Gone. They broke in, dude, and chased the cops around. Like, and now there's intelligence coming out about they knew about it happening, and they told the cops to stand out a little bit. Just
No, but they have videos of the securities or the whatever letting them in,
high fiving, shaking. And I'm like, are you serious? All I can think about right now is
this is America.
I know, right? All I can think about right now is how the Black Panthers, their only crime was trying to help and uplift the Black community, but they were treated as terrorists and criminals. And I'm like, what? Because they legally carried guns to protect their cities and their towns?
Let me tell you, anytime there's a congregation of Black people, it is a threat. And I'll tell you, you know what? Let me tell you why. Where I live, in Canada, the racism is there. It's just that like in the US, but I'll tell you this, okay?
No, they like the brothers up there though.
That's a different story. That's a different one, okay?
Not so much.
Let me tell you, if we're having a party, okay?
Right.
And you know, us Caribbean people or Black people, when we have a party,
it's loud.
Okay,
right?
But it's popping, right? You will see cops coming to shut that shit down. Okay, coming in there with their rifles and stuff like that. But if you go to certain towns and they're having their little Caucasian parties with their country music and lots of drugs, okay, you don't see the cops are dancing with them. They don't shut anything down. Okay, so whenever you see a bunch of Black people congregate together, it's like a threat.
Yeah, and I really feel one of my missions is in life is to change how media is presenting people of color. And I'm not just talking about
I was about to bring that up.
I'm not just talking about the news. I'm talking about film, television, all that stuff. When there is more representation, so you can see the human sides of every spectrum of color, right, things will start to shift. They'll have to be, because think about it. I don't know if either of you have ever talked to someone who's never been around a person of color. Right. They have this warped sense of reality because they think we're Carl Winslow, or we think we're Urkel, or they think we're all these stereotypes that they've seen on TV. He's the first one that came to mind. I don't know why. But they have these images of us, right? Yo, the Family Matters is my show, man. That was the joint, man, back in the day. And funny enough, remember, they actually had an episode of police brutality. Eddie got pulled over. Yeah. And Carl had to go
I got another story.
I got
another story. Right? Go ahead.
But no, that was it. That was pretty much it.
I just, you know what? I've seen it firsthand. You experience it all the time. I have 2 boys, and I can tell you, if anything, I can't imagine what these mothers or these parents are going through. I think about it sometimes with my own children, and I think it will be World War III if it, God, I don't call that down on any one of my kids, but I mean, I can't even talk about it because it's just so upsetting. And it's like, when is this going to end? Why do we keep having to talk about this shit? We're in the 21st century. Like we can get a vaccine for this freaking coronavirus in less than a year, and we're still talking about racism. Like, what the hell?
People are, I think we talked about when we were talking about fairness and we were talking about Stop Asian Hate. We brought up the fact that there's a lot of people out there who don't believe that racism is real. They don't believe this stuff is continuous. They don't believe it's as spread and as bad as the media is making it out to seem, because they're stuck in these little bubbles that they don't experience anything else. They live in these reality for them, but seemingly a fantasy for us, because they don't experience that stuff. They're like, no, that can't be the whole story. There has to be something else. And it's black and white. Like, back to the point of the lieutenant, right? This dude got stopped. All he did was ask, officer, why are you stopping me? Which they're legally supposed to tell you why they're stopping you.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing with Dante Wright. He got, when he asked, "What are you pulling me over for? Why do you want me to step out?" He's like, "Step out the car, and I'll tell you why." Like, why did he have to step out the car for you to tell him why?
Right.
So they could arrest him. He had a warrant, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard the warrant was because he missed a court date because he didn't get the mail because they sent it to the wrong house. So they filed for a warrant.
That was true.
So, listen, I don't care why he had a warrant. I don't care about what he did before. What I care about is that he's dead. And he should have been dead, because if his skin was a little bit lighter and his hair was a little bit straighter, this wouldn't have happened.
You just described yourself. Okay, I got you.
I don't have a penis.
Right. So, Jay, to go back on the Black Panther thing and the Klan thing, this happened to me at work. I'm sitting. I work for the government, federal government, in my cubicle. And Beyonce did the daggone Black Panther thing where she marched on the field for the Super Bowl. Now, remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
Formation. Yeah. So I go to work. I'm working. Co-worker. Hey, Devin, what do you think about Beyonce doing the Black Panther thing? Lady is a woman. I was like, oh, no, I didn't see anything wrong with it. Oh, really? It's almost like what if the KKK would have marched across the field? Would you been comfortable with that? I said, you can't even converse like this. I just was like,
But see,
they said it's the same thing.
That is the power.
Really? The Black Panthers were going to white neighborhoods and hanging white people?
That is the power of misinformation.
Kaepernick kneeling and George Floyd's killer kneeling. Like, do we want to compare this? Do we want to talk about this? Like,
again, the media portrayal and misinformation, and people don't research anymore. People don't go to find things out. They believe whatever someone tells them, the authority, people that are close to them, and they just go with it, and they just don't take in any more information. And it's almost like it's almost like if my boy came up to me and said, "Yo, my house is on fire," right?
Damn, excuse me.
And then I look at him and I say, "Well, that can't be right. My house isn't on fire."
Right.
but my house is on fire. Okay, but my house isn't, so you can't be like, you know what I'm saying? It's that rationality that I just can't. I'm just like, really?
Yeah. I'm with you on that one.
I don't know. I just think if this world, I thought that this whole coronavirus and us being on lockdown and all this shit, I thought it would have given us a wake-up call, but I think it's made things a lot.
It gave some.
Maybe some people.
But,
well, no, I must admit, I have seen more people actively standing up and using their platforms for good and to spread awareness than I think I ever have in my 40 years of living. Mm-hmm. I really have. I'll admit that. Like, things still aren't as well as I'd like them to be, but they're definitely not as bad as I possibly could think they are.
Let me. This isn't for Canada, but Jay, like, let's get on this Confederate flag thing. Every time I hear people protest the Confederate flag, I think, why? Why are you protesting the Confederate flag when the American flag was just as many pictures of lynchings as the Confederate flag? So we just need to change both flags. The American flag is just as hateful as the Confederate flag.
Oh, interesting. I've never heard that argument before. I understand where you're coming from.
The Confederate flag wasn't America's flag, and then American flag took over. The American flag and the Confederate flag was in the same pictures of lynchings.
So
you also just have a black piece of cloth as your flag.
All black, from everything. Canada. Look at Fiasco.
They got that red oak leaf. That red.
I know,
oak
right?
Leaf.
I can't even front. I like Canada's flag, man. That looks great on apparel. You know what I'm saying? Our red, white, and blue. I love my flag, but at the same time, it's like it don't look good on clothes. I don't care what you say. But to answer your question,
damn, that's almost a hot seat question.
I don't think it really is. I really don't think that we'll ever change the American flag because it's a staple.
Never.
It has a whole thing. But the Confederate flag, that thing needs to just go away. It needs to be in museums, and the lessons of it not the lessons of it, but the true history behind it needs to be taught. Because like again, I've been privileged to bounce around the world. I was raised primarily in the South. So I have friends and cousins and relatives. It's heritage. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. I understand what you think it is. But that was a black guy saying that it's heritage. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not what you think it is. So my thing is that, like, and I love saying this analogy because everybody who has a Confederate flag, anybody who knows someone who has a Confederate flag, would you treat the swastika the same exact way?
You wouldn't.
Because the Confederate flag has been used to torment so many people, right? Right. But yet you want to say, this don't mean hate. This mean love. Like, I have never seen that flag hung anywhere where I felt comfortable and I felt love.
Safe. Do you feel safer on that flag? Do you feel safer on that flag?
Bruh, the SSS and Hitler are so hated that on Halloween, people would dress like devils, demons, dragons, Michael Myers, but nobody will dress their kid like Hitler.
Oh, nobody's saying.
They dress like everything else that kills. But Hitler is a no. That's how much hate is in that.
Oh man, I just can't. And here's the thing, like I brought her book up before, Joyce DeGraw, post-traumatic slave disorder. She breaks it down so eloquently, and I can't even try because I'm sure I'm going to butcher it. But she mentions how all that stuff is taught from generation to generation, and anytime you bring up a thought that is different than what you've been taught, that person that's bringing up that new piece of information is going against your parents, your uncles, your aunts, your grandmappies, your pappies, your friends, all those generations of people, because that's what you've been taught. That's what your first pieces of information are. So unless you're open and willing to change, that person might as well just stop talking.
That's why we said, it's the education system, and these things are taught. We have to unlearn them. And how are we going to unlearn it? But I mean, that's a whole other topic. But this whole thing that is going on with our young men, women that are being killed. This kid was 20 years old, and he's a kid. I mean, here's another kid that's going to be fatherless. Like it
big time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Trish, you reminded me real quick, because I know there are some people that either they might be listening or they might be having a conversation. And the first thing they're going to say is like, oh, well, you guys always care so much when police officers kill Black people or other people of color. What about Chicago? What about all the LA riots? Like all that stuff.
That pisses us off too.
You know what I'm saying? That makes us mad too. But the difference is, one is that those people are stuck in environments that they don't know anything different. Secondly, you always got to ask, how did those people get those guns? Because they ain't leaving those areas. Go ahead, Trish.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's one, it's how did they get there? And it's a cycle, just the same way how you just talked about, they heard it from their grandpappies and their those people who are in Chicago or in those inner city places, they're there because of their circumstances, and they can't get out because of their circumstances. And because we spoke about this. Fairness. It's all about fairness. Can they get out? That's all they know, and that's all they've been taught. And the type of reform, there's no type of reform. Who's on their side? Who is helping them? Right? When they go into jail, what is being done to help them? What is being done to reform these kids or their children? Nothing.
Jail is a joke, man. Jail is just a revolving door of teaching people how to be better crooks. To be honest, there's a couple programs I know of that are trying to change the incarceration system, but for the most part, jail is a corporate entity that's making money off of a revolving door of keeping people inside as long as they possibly can.
Why is this
coming back?
Why is the statistics pointing to more colored men, women in jail than there is white? Why? I
had an argument with a friend years ago because he's a firm believer to black the blue, and I'm not trashing cops. I don't want anyone to say, oh, he doesn't. Like, I have plenty of friends.
I'll call one right now if somebody try to break in my house. I'm calling the cops.
Exactly, right? Exactly. So like, I have no problem with good cops. My issue is bad cops. And my friend was making up colors too. Exactly. Yeah. My friend was trying to make the point that it is important to have like you're supposed to study different like races do such and such a crime, right? And I was sitting here telling him, I'm like, dude, we need to get rid of that. Race should not factor into what type of crimes people are doing, because if you do that, all that's going to do is train someone to look at those races as the criminals and to single them out the most.
Crime doesn't have a color. Crime does not have a color.
Exactly. So that shouldn't factor into the equation.
1 million people lose their retirement funds. Who did that crime?
But see, the thing about it though is that like here's the thing, like if a woman suspects her husband is cheating and then she goes to look to see if her husband's cheating, she's probably going to find a cheater, right? Oh, yeah. If a cop or she finds something,
you find shit.
Yeah. Exactly, Trish. Exactly. So if you're looking for black people who are committing crimes of a particular crime, you're going to find it. You're looking for white people that are committing some type of crime, you're going to find it. So for all those people out there who are talking about, oh, black people need to treat black people better, black people are killing black people, black on black crime, what about white people on every other crime? Because white people be killing they don't care who they kill. They're killing everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
As they say, white on white crime is actually a higher rate than black on black crime.
It is, by far. Yeah.
And it's what
shoot up their schools and all types of shit. Go ahead, Trish.
I think that they just look at the demographic and what is crime, but crime is crime.
Yeah.
What was the last mass shooting in Canada? There was one this year, right? Early, or at the end of last year?
Can I
a
tell
mass
you
shooting in
another-
Canada?
Yeah, I think it was either end of last year or sometime this year. I think it was around the holiday area, holiday time. Yeah.
Yo,
But it
wait,
doesn't
hold
happen
on.
so often. When it happened, everybody was
hold
like, "What the?"
Now, see, here's the trippy thing. Like, I for real, like, no joke. Canada has mass shootings.
They had one.
I'm for real shocked. I had no clue. Like, I who knew?
They had one, and I can't remember
The
where
thing
it was.
is
But
that
they had one.
our gun laws are pretty tight, not like y'all.
So I got a question.
So
So
actually in 2020 in Nova Scotia, it was in Nova Scotia. Yes.
Wow.
a mass shooting.
Yeah, 22 people were killed.
I've been in Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia is nice. Not to to skip the tragedy that happened there. In Halifax, I had a ball in Halifax. Man, what was I about to say? Oh, you went on to your gun laws are stricter.
Mm-hmm.
So when policemen or a woman or a man wants to go be a policeman, what type of psyche valve do they get? Like, I need to know, were you in a neighborhood where there was a high rate of black crime? Because if you were, am I hiring a person that's already scared of a black person because of where they were raised?
So you know what? That's the thing I find with police officers. I don't think it's just here in Canada. Is that they put you in certain neighborhoods that you don't even live in. So to me, a police officer is supposed to know the community, supposed to know the people in the community, right? You're not supposed to be going to work in that community and then, driving an hour away out of that community. To me, that's not what policing actually is about, right? That's one of the biggest issues, because one, as a police officer, you need to know who the people are in the community. You need to have the rapport. You need to have that certain amount of trust, I guess, a rapport with people in the community. If you don't live in that community, people don't know you, then how do you do that?
I like that theory, but I can think of some neighborhoods that even if I grew up around them or whatever, I would go in there and my heart rate would probably go up. So I'm not even gonna lie.
No, it's true. Or you just automatically close your doors or lock them or make sure that they're locked. Yeah, I know. I get what you're saying.
I ain't stopping at that gas station. Shit.
Yeah, no,
true. I think every place in the world has
a place like that.
Exactly, right? But
especially in the middle of the country for us.
I think your point earlier. I think your point earlier, though, about like what mental evaluations are officers getting before they go in, because I know for me, when I used to do honor guard, which gave military funerals, military services, all kind of other different stuff, right? We actually had to take a psyche valve so that way we could work well together and that we'd be able to give a proper service to regardless of who we were serving, right? But it seems like officers don't get that same treatment. They come in still with the same biases that they had or have when they take off the uniform.
Yeah. But the thing is that, okay, let's just say you do that, but how often are they getting these psyche valve after they join the force? How often are they getting these types of training? How often is these training updated or upgraded to even conform with society?
I think officers should be held to a higher standard. When it comes to mental stuff, that's, in my opinion, that should be like once a year thing, particularly if an officer had to discharge their weapon.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, listen, as long as you are responsible for other people's lives, you need to have some sort of psych evaluation. So, listen, you need therapy. You need to go to something. You need to be getting something.
Big time.
Right. Yeah. In the military, I had to fire my weapon once. And I had to have therapy because I didn't know if I killed, if like in the direction, like I had to have therapy. So I can imagine if this is your daily recurrence of having to carry that weapon and be in these situations. So
you know what? Now I know. Every time he says he was in the military, all I'm going to do is picture Jay behind a desk. He was not out on the field.
So far from I know, right? Yo, she tried to paint this book all extra wrong. Yo, man.
Let me tell you about us folks that were in the military that have traveled. We come back with a sense of we come back with a sense of appreciating things, and we definitely don't sweat the small things as much as we used to.
Yeah.
especially when you were in some poverty-stricken areas. And what's crazy is when people talk about, well, poverty, creates crime. Well, I've been in some countries with some poverty, and they live in unity. They live, I wouldn't say safely, but they ain't crackheads running around and things like that. You know what I mean? There isn't drugs on every corner. That's something that was just plagued in this country.
Yeah,
it's a plague that they created, and it's a reason why certain black folks don't like certain black folks, and that was the what was that, Jim Crow, or the Willie Lynchism? The Willie Lynchism theory is like when they freed the slaves, they gave some money and things, and some of them got nothing. So it created a jealousy. It created a jealousy in it. Yeah. So, and we still dealing with it to this day. Yeah. So,
So, no worries.
Let's get on to the hot seat.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's go.
Jay, welcome to the hot seat.
Oh, I'm scared.
A couple of shows back, we spoke about, the fairness and women. The woman influence and the man influence. Is there fairness? Is there privilege there? Let's if you woke up as the opposite sex, what would you do with that day?
I would look at my stuff. I can't have no time for life. That's the first thing I would do, to be honest. I just want to check it out.
If you don't do that, you're not taking advantage of learning the woman's body, because when you come back, you're gonna know everything.
Right?
You're gonna know everything.
I would have to explore and just get used to my own body. Not getting too graphic, but that's just what I would have to do. That's be the first thing. After that, man, I don't know. I'd want to see if certain things are true. Like I'd want to see if a guy would buy me a drink at certain places. Right. I'd want to I just want to see if I cry, would anybody care? There'd be certain things that just certain stigmas. I just want to see if they were true or not. If anybody cares.
I didn't say you were attractive, Jay. I just said you walked up as an opposite sex. Because trust me, the opposite sex, you still have to be attractive.
Hey, I agree that
I'm gonna get in trouble for that.
I agree with you. I think that you have to be attractive, but I also feel that you have to be able to play it right. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't know if I will be well endowed in the chest or the butt, but I'd have to be able to play certain things off. That the fact, just being able to hold a conversation with the man and give him attention and to show you care and affection. That in itself might get me some places. So,
the dude is going to listen. Trish, I like your answer, Jay. I like your answer, Jay. Trish.
That's why I was dying when you asked me that question, because I was asked this question before, and my answer is just so dirty.
We're not surprised, but go ahead. What was your answer?
We're truly not surprised.
I would just hope that I came back with something big, right? That's my first thing. I don't care about my looks.
It's only one day. But go ahead.
She gonna use it to its full advantage that one day, man. 24 hours, baby.
If I was a guy.
Oh man,
it's not that easy. It's not easy to be a hoe.
See, it's funny thing though, Trish. You even said it last time. For women can get sex anytime they want. A man, not so much.
Listen, if it's hung, you know how to play it.
But you can't just walk outside and be like, "Hey, buddy." There are laws against that.
So bad right now, but I won't. No,
I'm telling you, be locked up. You be locked up.
And you would think wearing tight pants would help, but it don't. So
Did I tell you, if I came back as a man with a big thing, I probably would get locked up because I would want to be showing it off. I probably would.
All right, what would be some other things you would do as a man?
So no, hold on. Before we other things. So here's the misconception. I'm sorry. If you have a big thing, you wouldn't just want to show it off. You'd be proud. You'd be confident. But you would have so many issues. Your pants. It would get chapped. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't be. You have to adjust it all the time. There'll be some drawbacks to having it that big.
No, you know what I'm saying? No. I'll be wearing the proper pants. They'll be seeing it. They'll be seeing it proper. No, you'll see it.
Wow.
What else would you do, Trish, besides become a porn star in one day?
I can't can't think of anything else.
Wow.
That is it. That would be Trisha's one goal for that. For 24 hours, she is going to become.
There's other things you could do. Yeah. See,
she's gonna.
That's all we think of.
She's gonna become Tosh, the porn star of the world, the porn king of the world.
Anything else? If I had a penis, I can't think of anything else that I would want to do.
Now you know the problem. Now you know the problem. Okay.
What?
I say now you know our problem. Okay? Now you know our problem. But. Wow, there's other things, man. Like, I'm not a sports guy, but
everybody's like, oh,
yeah, like what
else you like to do?
What?
I watch movies. I watch like cartoons.
I do that as a girl. The sex. I do that as a girl.
We just do stuff until the sex.
I do that as a girl already.
We are so bad. We are representing the male species so bad right now, dude. So bad.
We just have hobbies. Until the sex happens.
We just have space fillers just until that time. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it.
I'd go to the gym and pump some iron. I don't know.
As a guy, I can tell you the gym is crazy distracting. And that's me being honest. Yeah. For me, it's like, yeah.
Well, I gave you my answer. That's why I was dying when D asked because I was asking like
so I'm on the same side as Jay. I would try to I would mess around with my body and be like, and I would just use secret weapons. Like they would be like, "How do you know that?" I was like, "Oh no, you know what I'm saying? I know the woman's body."
I'm curious. It's clear Trish already would.
Trust me, I wouldn't go get sex though. I wouldn't go have sex.
And see, that's what I was about to ask because, like, for me, I'm like, do I want to know how it feels, but at the same time, I don't want to know how it feels. You know what I'm saying?
Is that because so the thing is that you'll be doing it, you'll be a woman in a woman's body with your male mentality? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But I'm heterosexual. I'm not a homophobe. I'm not a homophobe or anything, but I'm heterosexual. I can't like picture a hairy dude on top of me. Just because I got the female parts.
You could be a lesbian.
You know what I'm saying? Another girl.
I mean, I'm a lesbian now. You know what I mean?
Oh, we gonna get so many comments. We gonna get so much. Everybody gonna come at us.
The Bite the Bullet show has been canceled.
I know, right? Oh man. Oh, dude.
Wow.
I guess that's how we end the show tonight, huh? I don't know.
Both of y'all with boobs and me with a penis. Let's end it right there.
Oh man, yo. Wow.
Trish is nasty.
Someone's gotta be.
I'm just
look at Jay's forehead. I'm not sweating. Jay is like, I put my name
glistening.
on this.
I can tell you now, I'm in the hot seat for real because I'm just like, wow.
I put my name on this.
Well, guys.
Oh man, yo.
But that's what's up, man.
The track is off the rails.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, we appreciate y'all watching. Trish, Jay Reese, Mr. Positive.
Mr. Positive.
Got a word for us? Mr. Positivity?
Of course I do. Mr. Positivity here. And, earlier in the show, we were talking about some very hard tough topics. And no pun intended. But we were talking about some very tough stuff. And
disturbing stuff, yes.
Yeah.
I know this world. I know this world can seem very dark, but there is always light at the tunnel. And I'm not saying that to be cliche, but there always is. It seems like we talk about this all the time, but the conversation can't stop. It's frustrating, it's hard, but it can't. If you truly want things to change, if you truly want peace and unity in a world filled with equality, we have to keep pushing forward. Yeah. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, the list goes on and on. All these people that have pushed us forward. We can't let them down. We can't let Trayvon Martin. We can't let Emmett Till. All these people died for us. What are you willing to do?
Yeah.
Mr. Positivity, I'm out.